Long, long ago, in a beautiful green valley, there were two cities. One city was named Sodom and the other was named Gomorrah. These cities looked lovely from far away, with many houses and busy streets where people lived and worked. The land around them was full of grass for sheep and gardens for growing food. From the outside, it seemed like a wonderful place to live. People from all over would travel through the valley, admiring the rich fields and the bustling towns that stood proudly under the warm sun. It was a place that promised comfort and an easy life for everyone who decided to make it their home. But inside these cities, something was very wrong. The people who lived in Sodom and Gomorrah were not kind. They did not share with others or help those in need. Instead, they were selfish and made many bad choices every single day. They were unkind to strangers and mean to each other. They forgot about being good and chose to do things that were hurtful and wrong. Their hearts were filled with bad thoughts, and they did not care about what was right. They thought only of themselves and what they wanted, never considering how their actions might harm their neighbors or visitors. In the city of Sodom there lived a good man named Lot. Lot was different from the other people in the city. He was the nephew of a very wise man named Abraham. Lot tried very hard to be kind and to make good choices, even when everyone around him was doing the wrong thing. He lived there with his wife and their two daughters. Lot felt sad when he saw all the bad things happening in his city. He taught his family to be gentle and respectful, to share what they had, and to always show kindness to others because he knew this was the right way to live. God saw the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah from high above. He saw all the unkindness and the bad choices the people were making. It made God very sad to see so much wickedness in such a beautiful place. But God also saw Lot and his family. He knew that Lot was a good man who tried to live a good life. Because Lot was righteous and kind, God decided that he and his family should be saved. God wanted to make sure that Lot, his wife and his daughters were safe before the cities were punished for all their wrongdoing. One evening, just as the sun was beginning to set, two strangers arrived at the gates of Sodom. These were not ordinary men, they were angels sent by God, but they looked just like regular travelers. Lot was sitting near the city gate when he saw them. Remembering his duty to be kind to visitors, he immediately stood up and bowed down to greet them. He did not want these strangers to be left alone on the streets where the people of Sodom might harm them. He knew the city was a dangerous place for newcomers, especially after dark, and he felt it was his job to offer them protection. Lot kindly invited the two men to his house. "Please, come to my home," he said. "You can wash your feet and rest for the night. In the morning, you can continue on your journey." At first, the angels said they would stay in the town square, but Lot insisted they come with him. He knew they would not be safe outside, so the angels agreed and went with Lot to his house. Lot's wife prepared a big meal for them, and they all sat down to eat together. Lot showed them great hospitality, making sure they had everything they needed to feel comfortable and welcome. But soon, there was trouble. The men of Sodom heard that Lot had visitors. A big angry crowd of men from all over the city came and surrounded Lot's house. They started shouting and banging on the door. They demanded that Lot send the two visitors out to them because they wanted to hurt them. This showed just how wicked and cruel the people of the city had become. They had no respect for guests and no kindness in their hearts. Lot was very scared for his guests and knew he had to protect them from the evil mob outside. Lot went outside to speak to the angry crowd. He begged them, "Please, my friends, do not do this wicked thing. These men are guests in my home." But the men would not listen. They grew even angrier and tried to break down the door. Suddenly, the two angels reached out, pulled Lot back inside the house, and shut the door. Then, the angels used their divine power to make all the men outside blind. The men stumbled around, completely unable to find the doorway, and eventually they gave up and went away. Lot and his family were safe inside, thanks to the angels. Once the danger outside had passed, the angels told Lot why they were really there. "We have been sent by God," they explained. "God is going to destroy the city because the people here are so very wicked. Do you have any other family here, your sons-in-law or anyone else? You must get them and leave this place immediately." Lot was shocked and frightened by this terrible news. The angels made it very clear that there was no time to waste. The punishment for Sodom and Gomorrah was coming very soon, and every moment was precious for their survival. Lot hurried out into the night to warn his daughter's future husbands. He told them, "Hurry, you must leave this city. God is about to destroy it." But they did not believe him. They thought Lot was telling a silly joke and just laughed at his warning. Their hearts were like the hearts of the other people in Sodom, and they could not understand the seriousness of the situation. Sadly, Lot had to return to his house alone, knowing that his extended family would not be joining them. He had tried to save them, but they refused to listen to the urgent message. As the sun began to rise, the angels became very urgent. "Get up," they said to Lot. "Take your wife and your 2 daughters and run for your lives. Do not wait any longer, or you will be destroyed with the city." But Lot and his family hesitated. They were slow to leave their home and all their belongings behind. Seeing this, the angels took Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters by the hand. The angels' grip was firm and strong, and they led the family quickly out of the city to safety because God was being merciful to them. Before they left them, the angels gave one final, very important instruction. "Run to the mountains and do not stop," they commanded. "And most importantly, whatever you hear, whatever happens, do not look back. If you look back, you will be destroyed." With this final warning, the angels left them. Lot and his family began to run as fast as they could, away from the wicked city they once called home. They knew their lives depended on obeying every word the angels had said. The ground began to tremble, and the sky grew dark with storm clouds. As Lot and his daughters ran without stopping, God's punishment began. From the sky, God rained down burning sulfur and fire upon the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. Everything in the cities and all over the green valley was completely destroyed. The houses, the people, the plants, and all the animals were burned up in the terrible fire. The beautiful valley that was once so green and full of life became a dead, smoking land covered in ash and salt. It was a frightening sight, a powerful and complete end to the 2 cities that had been filled with so much wickedness. Lot and his 2 daughters obeyed the angel's command. They kept their eyes focused on the mountains ahead and did not turn around. They ran and ran, wanting only to get to a safe place, far away from the terrible destruction happening behind them. They trusted the warning they had been given and knew that their only hope was to follow the instructions exactly as they were told. Their feet were tired and their hearts were heavy, but they kept moving forward, leaving their old lives and the burning cities far in the distance. They chose to listen and obey, but Lot's wife did not obey. As they were running, she could not resist the urge to see what was happening to her home. Perhaps she missed her house, her friends, or all the things she had left behind. For just a moment, she forgot the angel's serious warning. She stopped running and turned her head to look back at the burning city of Sodom. As soon as she disobeyed, she was immediately turned into a pillar of salt. She stood there, frozen forever as a silent statue, a sad reminder of what happens when you ignore God's guidance. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah teaches us a very important lesson. It shows us that our choices matter very much. Making bad, unkind, and selfish choices can lead to terrible consequences. The story also shows us the importance of listening to good guidance and obeying it. Lot and his daughters were saved because they listened to the angels and followed their instructions carefully. Lot's wife was not saved because she chose to disobey. This ancient story reminds everyone, young and old, that choosing what is right and listening to wise warnings is the path to safety and a good life.